everyone, it's Veronica from Blue Star Crochet. Welcome to another fun and quick tutorial on how to make Brooklyn hat. So let me introduce you to Brooklyn hat. This is a really easy and stylish crochet hat. All we need to know is learn this 2-row repeat and create this beautiful fabric with these knit look stitches, as well as these special stitches which I'm about to teach you. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what materials we will need to complete this project and then get on with learning this fun and quick project. For the Brooklyn hat, we're going to be using a homespun double knitting yarn from King Cole. So this is a beautiful tweed yarn that you can get from King Cole. It is 175 meters or 191 yards per 50 grams. So it is slightly on the thinner end of double knitting or category 3 weight yarn. So that's going to be your useful information if you do decide to substitute for a different yarn. So it's the homespun DK by King Cole. We're also going to be using a 4mm crochet hook. We will need scissors to cut yarn, yarn needle to sort out a couple of ends. I also have a tape measure to hand to check on a gauge and to check on the measurement of the hat as you're making it, because you don't want to finish the whole fabric and then realize that it's not tall enough or it's not wide enough. And you will also need a stitch marker, which is going to be handy, and I'll show you when we're going to use it. Let's quickly have a look at the Brooklyn hat. As you can see, the Brooklyn hat is worked in rows that run from the brim of the hat towards the crown and then back down towards the brim. It's all worked in one piece. So we're going to be working on the brim of the hat as well as the main body of the hat all in one row. Brim is already kind of pulling the bottom of the hat in. So this is going to sit on your forehead, and then the other end of the hat is just ends of the rows, and at the end of the tutorial we're gonna cinch the top of the hat together. So once we have enough width in our hat, we're gonna cinch the top of the hat together to create the crown. But as I said, we're going to be working the brim and the main body of the hat all in one row. So let's go ahead and do that together. As I said, I'm going to be using the King Cole homespun. This is a DK weight yarn, but slightly on the thinner side if you do wish to substitute. So to start the Brooklyn hat, we're going to chain 57. So let's start with the slip knot. So this is my loop of yarn. I'm going to place the loop onto my fingers, and then we're going to cross the tail end with the working end. And I'm going to grab the tail end and pull it through the loop on my fingers and tighten it up like this. So you created a movable loop, which I'm going to place onto my 4mm crochet hook and just tighten it down. And as I said, we're going to start by chaining 57. So I'm going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So this is basically creating the foundation chain, and we need to do this 57 times. So I'm going to go ahead and create the foundation chain, and here I have 57 chain stitches for my foundation chain. Now what we're going to do is start working into third chain from the hook, and we're going to work half double crochets. So let's go ahead and do that. As I said, I'm going to start working into third chain from the hook. So that's 1, 2, 3 into the third chain from the hook. I'm going to work 1 half double crochet. So that's yarn over, insert your hook into that third chain, yarn over, pull through, which leaves me 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. And in this process, we've already got 2 half double crochet because the beginning 2 chain that we have missed counts as the first half double crochet. So do remember that you've got one half double crochet and we created the second one. Then I'm going to go ahead and work one half double crochet into each chain across. I have now completed row 1, which was just plain half double crochet stitches. Now we're going to turn our work and get on with starting row 2. So for row 2, I'm going to start by chain 2. Now this chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch. I like to do a full half double crochet through both loops. So this is the edge stitch, and in order to strengthen the edge stitch, I'm gonna do a full-on half double crochet, inserting my hook under both loops. Okay, so that's the first half double crochet. Now for the next 9 stitches, we're going to work half double crochet, but we're going to work through back loop only, okay? So as I said, the loop closer to you is the front loop and the loop away from you is the back loop, okay? So we're going to be working 9 half double crochet through back loop only to create the brim of the hat. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook through the back loop only, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 stitches together. So again, yarn over through the back loop, pull through all 3 loops on a hook. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work up the 9 half double crochet through back loop only, and including the first full half double crochet, we're going to have 10 stitches of the brim. Okay, let me just double check on myself. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 and 10. So this is 10 half double crochets, and as you can see, I work through back loop only, so you are creating this ridged fabric for the brim. Now once you do your 10 stitches of the brim, I recommend just popping your stitch marker into the last stitch of the brim, because once we work up the main or the special stitches, then for row 3 on the way back, it will be easier for you to see where the brim starts. If you don't want to keep counting the 10 stitches over and over, it's easier if you just pop the stitch marker into the 10th stitch. So then when you kind of work in from this direction back towards the brim, it will be easier to know when to start working the half double crochet through back loop only. What we're going to do is work on those special stitches here, and we're going to be working through the 3rd loop of the half double crochet. So let me just quickly take you back and look at the top of the half double crochet stitches, and we've got the just grab my needle to show you. So these are the top loops of half double crochet, and as you can see, that's your front loop of half double crochet, that's your back loop of half double crochet. So that's the top stitches, the top loops, so the front loop and the back loop. But if you spin the half double crochet this way towards you, you can see that there is another loop here at the back. So this is the 3rd loop of the half double crochet, and that is the loop we're going to be working under, not the top loops. So this is the front and the back stitch, back loop. We're going to be working through the 3rd loop of that half double crochet right here. Okay, by doing so, as you can see, if you work through that 3rd loop here, what's going to happen is that the front and back loop of the stitch is going to get pushed to the front, which essentially then creates this knit look texture on your hat, or the little strands of knit look stitches. Okay, so let's go ahead and work the special stitch, and now we know which loop we're going to be working through. Let me just pop that one out for now because it's in a way. So let's go ahead and find the 3rd loop only of the first half double crochet, and what we need to do is work 1 double crochet through the 3rd loop. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook through that third loop of the next half double crochet, yarn over, pull through, which leaves me 3 loops on a hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, then we're gonna work across the next 2 half double crochets on the third loop, and we're gonna work 1 double crochet 2 together. So we're gonna work these next 2 stitches together. So I'm gonna yarn over, insert my hook under the third loop of next half double crochet, yarn over, pull through. So I've got 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2. This is where we're going to stop with this stitch. And now I'm going to turn my attention to the next half double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook under the next third loop of half double crochet, yarn over, pull through. Okay, now we're going to yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and we've got 3 loops on a hook. And to finish off the double crochet 2 together, I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on my hook. Okay, so now we have created 2 stitches, so the double crochet here and the double crochet 2 together, which is this one here. So what we essentially have is 3 bodies of double crochet stitches, but only 2 loops at the top. Okay, now what we're gonna do is work front post double crochet around the post of these 2 stitches. Okay, so we're gonna insert the hook around the body of those 3 stitches. So you kind of need to go back onto yourself, because we're going to insert the hook from front of the fabric to the back in this gap here around the post of those stitches like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And we need to work double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to insert my hook back around the post of those 3 stitches, yarn over and pull through like this, and I've got 3 loops on my hook, although they're a bit bunched up. Then yarn over, pull through 2. Oh, I'm getting a bit stuck. Pull through 2. Okay, and then again yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, and by working that double crochet around the body of those 3 stitches, you can see that it just pinches them a little bit together and creates this gap in your fabric. So let's go ahead and work the next special stitch together again. So I'm gonna work 1 double crochet through the third loop of the next half double crochet like this. Okay, so that's 1 double crochet. Then we're going to work 1 double crochet 2 together across the next 2. So that's insert your hook, pull up a loop, okay, yarn over, pull through 2. This is where we're going to stop. And then we're going to yarn over, insert into the next third loop, yarn over, pull through. And we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, which leaves you 3 loops on a hook, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook, and then yarn over and work front post double crochet around the 3 stitches, or the 2 stitches, sorry, the 2 stitches just made. So I'm gonna go through the gap to the back of the work, yarn over, pull through like this, which leaves you 3 loops on a hook. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and as you can see, it's starting to create these gaps in your fabric and these little lines across the body of those stitches. So let's work up 1 more together. So I'm going to work 1 double crochet into the 3rd loop of the next half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's the standard double crochet. Now we're going to work double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, insert under the 3rd loop of next half double crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've got 2 loops on the hook. Then yarn over into the next one, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over, pull through 2, which leaves me 3 loops on a hook, and yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And then we're going to work the front post double crochet. So that's yarn over, insert your hook back around the body of those stitches, yarn over, pull through, okay, and allow the yarn to come all the way to the front, don't do it too tight, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that's those special stitches that we're going to be creating the Brooklyn hat fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and work across the rest of the stitches until you get to the very last stitch, and we're going to work 1 standard double crochet into the top of the beginning 2 chain that we created at the end of row 1. Okay, here we are at the end of row 2, and I just wanted to quickly show you I have worked my last special stitch, and to finish off the row is 1/2 double crochet into the top of that 2 chain from row 1. Okay, don't forget that chain 2. Here we are, row 2 is done. As you can see, I popped my stitch marker back in. You could just keep counting 10 rows off of the end if you don't want to have the wiggly stitch marker in your work. It's totally up to you. So here we go, end of row 2. That's the special stitches all done with 1 double crochet at the end to start row 3, and this is then going to become your repeat row 2 and 3. We're gonna simply start by chain 2, 1, 2, and this chain 2 counts as the first half double crochet of this row, and then we're going to work 1/2 double crochet into each top of each stitch across. So row 3 is super simple, just 1/2 double crochet into each top of each stitch across, and I'm going to repeat this until we get to the end of the fabric, or until you hit this stitch marker, okay, because that's your first stitch of the brim. So I'm going to go ahead and get through these half double crochet stitches, and I will meet you back and get you through the end of row 3. I got to the end of row 3, and as you can see, I have worked half double crochet across to the first stitch with the stitch marker. So that indicates to me that this is the first stitch of the brim, and from this stitch going forward, I will be working 1/2 double crochet into each stitch across until the last one, because in the last one I'm going to work a full half double crochet. So let's go ahead and work the 9 half double crochet through back loop only, because we are creating the brim, until the very last stitch. And into the very last stitch, I'm going to work just standard half double crochet through the top 2 loops of the very last stitch. Okay, and that's the next row of the brim done. You can see already, even by working the first 3 rows, you can see that the end of your fabric is really getting cinched in. It's getting smaller than the height of the main body. So what we're going to do now is just continue working on the fabric of your hat, and once you reach the desired width of the main body of your hat, so keep measuring, keep checking how the main body is going, whether it's big enough to go around your head or the head of the recipient you're making the hat for. Then we're going to go ahead and attach the ends together, so we're going to crochet them together, and once we do that, we're going to cinch the top together. As you can see, I have carried on repeating the 2-row repeat for my Brooklyn hat and working on the brim in the process. Once you reach the desired width of your hat, or the hat circumference is big enough for your head, what we're going to do is actually now attach the 2 shorter sides together to form a tube shape, which will then become the hat. So we're going to do that. As you can see, I haven't fastened off. I've got my yarn still attached, and what we're going to do is actually fold the finished fabric in half. So I've got the right side of the hat facing me, and what I'm going to do now is simply fold it in half with the 2 shorter sides together, okay? And we're going to carry on. I do prefer to crochet together, but if you wanted to sew it together, that's completely up to you. So now what we've got here is actually the very last half double crochet row across here, and we also have the underside of the foundation chain that we have started with. So what we're now going to do is simply single crochet these 2 rows together, okay? So after you finish off with your last row, I'm going to chain 1, and now I'm going to insert my hook through the top loops of the first stitch, as well as the first chain on the underside of the foundation chain, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through 2, okay? So I'm going to single crochet the last row with the underside of the foundation chain together, okay? And I'm going to use single crochet stitches because they're a little bit more flexible than if you just slip stitch it together, or if you're using mattress stitch or whip stitch, be careful that there is enough kind of flexibility when you sew your hat together. So again, insert your hook through the top loops of the last row and through the next chain stitch on the underside of the foundation chain, and simply single crochet this together. So I'm going to go ahead and carry on all the way across the row, and I'm going to attach the 2 rows together, and I will meet you back at the end of the row. I'm going to fasten off at the end of the row, but I'm going to leave quite a long tail end, because I'm going to use the tail end to then cinch the top of the hat together. I have come to the end of the row, so I have attached both of the rows, and now, as I said, I'm going to leave a longer tail end because I'm going to use this yarn to cinch the top of the hat together. So let's fasten off, and for this step we will actually require a needle, okay? So I'm still on the wrong side of the hat, so this is going to become the inside of the hat, and I'm gonna grab the yarn tail end that we have just finished off, and I'm gonna pop it through the needle. And what we're going to do is now cinch the top of the hat. So for the cinching, we're going to use a running stitch. So this is a special kind of sewing stitch that just goes, it kind of weaves in and out of the fabric. And when you go all the way around, when you then pull on the yarn, it's actually going to cinch it together. So running stitch is basically just in through the fabric and back out through the fabric, okay? So just in and out like this. You can do a few at a time before you kind of pull the yarn through like this. You don't need to tighten it up at the moment because we're going to do that right at the end. And as you can see, I'm spacing the stitches out a little bit so they're quite not too bunched up, because once we cinch it, you want there to be enough space for the fabric to bunch up and cinch. So I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around the top of the hat, and I'll meet you back when it's time to cinch it together. And here we go, we're right at the end. So when you hit the first, when you hit the seam, you know that you've gone all the way around, okay? So now we've created the running stitch all the way around the top of the hat. All we gotta do now is simply pull on the yarn attached and just let this fabric do its own thing and close at the top. Okay, here we go. So pull on it as much as you can so there is not a big hole or a big gap left in the middle, but please be careful not to snap your yarn, because I have done that before. And do you know what, I'm gonna cut this yarn a little bit shorter because I don't need it as long, just to finish off. So here we go. Pull on it as much as the yarn tension allows. Like I said, don't snap your yarn because that wouldn't be very good. And all we gotta do now is just kind of make a knot like this to stop the cinch becoming loose, okay? And once you make your knot so the cinch is not opening back up, we can then just go ahead and sew this ending securely. And you want to really do this securely because otherwise the top of your hat will just fall apart. So take your time with sewing in this end a few times up and down so it's really secure. And I'm just going to get rid of my needle. And now this is of course the inside of your hat because we're working on the wrong side. So what we're now going to do is just turn it the right side out like this, and just I'm going to tuck my end in, just tidy it up a bit. And of course the cinch at the top, you're just going to have to wiggle it a little bit for the fabric to fall into place and find its own place. So that's the top of the hat that we just cinched. And if I just lay it out this way, here we go. So this is the finished Brooklyn hat, okay? And that's it. Your Brooklyn hat is finished, it's done. It's totally up to you whether you want to attach a pom-pom to the top of it, full fur pom-pom, or you can make one from the leftover yarn with a pom-pom maker. That's totally up to you. But yes, we're done. So yay, Brooklyn hat is finished. Thank you so much for joining me for this video tutorial. I hope you did enjoy it. If you wanted to keep up with more tutorials on my channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn the notifications on so you get notified every time I upload a new video tutorial. So thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.